Thing number 1, Tiger takes on Tulsa.
Let's go.
The second major of the year has arrived with the PGA Championship going down at Southern Hills in Oklahoma this weekend. While the Masters winner and the current number 1 golfer in the world, Scottie Scheffler, is the odds-on favorite to take home the Wanamaker Trophy, all eyes are again on Tiger Woods. And he's in the best pairing by far for the first 2 rounds, playing with Jordan Spieth and Rory McIlroy. Now, Andy, he's got a long shot to win. Some in the golf Twitter sphere are actually kind of annoyed at the attention Tiger's getting, which is weird. But what do you think about this weekend's major?
Every time Tiger plays in a tournament, people are complaining about how much they show Tiger freaking Woods. Now, I got a message for you people out there. For this PGA Championship, we're going to say that. Just don't say that. Don't say it. Just sit on your couch and watch the greatest player of all time play, because we're lucky to see him play. We're lucky he's alive. We're lucky he's here this week once again to take over our golfing lives. So if you're out there and you're complaining about too much Tiger Woods, you're wrong. You're just dead wrong. It's great to have Tiger back. I can't wait for him to be back. I hope he plays all 4 days. I hope he wins the darn thing. Let's go, Tiger Woods.
I love that. And quickly for the bettors at home, who's a lock for your top 5? Who do you have winning it all?
Tiger, I'm going Rory McIlroy this week. It's time for Rory to win another major. He's playing with Tiger the first couple of days. I think that locks him in. I've been wrong all year with my picks, so Rory McIlroy, I'm sorry about this.
All right, be sure to take those bets to Tipico, friends. But moving on to thing number 2, we head to the ice. Hockey's having a moment, and we love it. All right, so Andy, I'm sorry your Bruins got axed in Game 7 to Carolina, but you have to admit this past weekend of Game 7s were incredible television.
They were great TV.
Compared to the blowouts we saw in the NBA Game 7s, the NHL's overtime sudden death thrillers have made for heart-stopping action. The Rangers' win at the Garden was a sight Knicks fans can only dream of. And even Tom Brady and LeBron James are considering putting on the skates. What's even bigger news for hockey is ratings were big up. It appears the ESPN and Turner deals are finally bearing fruit. Now we're down to the Elite 8, if you will, in the tourney. Andy, for you, what is the best possible Stanley Cup final matchup?
It's an easy one, Mac, and it features the Rangers of New York City versus the Oilers of Edmonton. And let me tell you, now that the Bruins are out of the Stanley Cup playoffs, I have a new team, and that's the Edmonton Oilers. I know what you're thinking. Why the Edmonton Oilers? Because of one man, a 25-year-old man, who is really good at hockey. His name is Connor McDavid. I don't know if you guys have seen him play, because a lot of people are on the East Coast. Edmonton plays their games at like 4 in the morning on the East Coast. Who knows when they play? But we need McDavid and the Oilers on the game's biggest stage, on the game's biggest arena, Madison Square Garden. Imagine seeing him play against the Rangers, New York City, under the big lights. Let's get the Connor McDavid show on Broadway.
I back that up 100% coming from New York right now. And speaking of New York teams, we move on to thing number 3, and this should be a fun one. The New Jersey Jets and Giants. Big question mark there. So, Andy, this story is wild and it has layers to it. Back in January, a New York City local filed a $6 billion lawsuit in Manhattan demanding the Jets and Giants leave New Jersey's MetLife Stadium to return to the Big Apple by 2025. Flash forward to this month. The fan hasn't dropped the lawsuit, but amended it. He now wants the team to drop New York from their names in place of New Jersey, which makes some sense because both teams literally do play in New Jersey. But Andy, both teams have been awful for a long time, so maybe it is time for a rebrand. What do you think?
Let's call it what it is. It's crazy. But there is some sense here, because the Jets and Giants don't play their games in New York. They play in a totally different state called, New Jersey. So there's only one real NFL team that plays in New York, and that is the Buffalo Bills, one of the greatest teams in the AFC this year. And if I'm Buffalo Bills, which I'm not, I'd be like, hey, can we do something about the Jets and Giants? We don't want to be associated with these guys. They're bad at football, except, that one time the Giants did beat the Bills in the Super Bowl. But whatever. If I'm the Bills, I want the names changed. And it makes sense. It does. Like, they should be the New Jersey Giants and Jets. And yes, I hate myself for agreeing with this crazy one fan who wants $6 billion. So I'll have to deal with that once this recording is over. But it does make some sense there.
And hot take, the Utah Jazz should honestly change their name too. We all know there's no Jazz coming out of Salt Lake City. False advertising, in my opinion. Hey, sports fans, if you want to watch more sports seriously, be sure to check out these clips right here. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see all the great content from us here at USA Today Sports.